Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive deep into Green Lantern, the animated series.
Always ready for a good deep dive.
We've got articles, wikis, reviews, even some thematic analyses,
Ah,
trying to uncover why this show clicked with so many people and what it can teach us about storytelling.
and some pretty big ideas, too, like willpower.
Yeah, and that whole spectrum of emotions thing.
Not to mention those character arcs, especially Razor and Aya. They really add some depth, wouldn't you say?
Totally. But for those who might miss this one, what's the setup?
So we've got our Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and Kilowog.
The classic duo.
Right, then we throw in a reformed Red Lantern, Razor, and their sentient starship, Aya, all brought to life with CGI animation, which was a pretty bold move back then.
Yeah, it definitely stood out. Visually striking, for sure.
And that style really gets put to use across the show's two main arcs.
Single season, two big stories.
Exactly. First up, the deaths of the Frontier Lanterns.
Sounds ominous.
It starts with a mystery. Green Lanterns, out on the edge of Guardian space, they start turning up dead. So Hal and Kilowog, they're sent to investigate.
Classic detective work, but in space.
And that investigation leads them straight to the Red Lanterns.
The rage-fueled ones, right?
That's them. Driven by vengeance against those Guardians.
Yeah, this is what I love. It's not just a simple heroes and villains thing.
No, definitely not. Their leader, Atrocitus, yeah, he's the antagonist, but his anger, his pain, it's all rooted in something real, makes you question who's really in the right here.
And those moral complexities, they're reflected in the characters, too.
Yeah.
Like Hal Jordan. He's your classic hero, right? Impulsive, brave, but...
But he's not perfect.
Exactly. Makes mistakes, has doubts, learns and grows because of it.
Which is what makes him relatable.
Then you got Kilowog, the steady veteran.
Keeps everyone grounded, the perfect counter to Hal's impulsiveness.
And then there's Razor.
Ah, Razor. That's where things get really interesting. This reformed Red Lantern, trying to overcome his rage, searching for redemption. Arguably one of the most compelling parts of the whole series.
Such a powerful message there, showing that change is possible, even for someone so consumed by rage.
It's a testament to the idea that we can change, that we can choose a different path, even when it seems like we're lost in the darkness.
And then you have Aya, the starship. Or, well, more than just a ship.
Sentient AI, evolving throughout the series, starts off processing things logically, then begins to experience emotions, builds relationships, makes her own choices.
That raises some big questions, doesn't it? If a machine can develop sentience, what does that mean for us? What does it even mean to be a person? Deep stuff for an animated show to be tackling.
It's amazing how they use these fantastical elements to explore such profound themes. And they do it in a way that's both engaging and thought-provoking.
It really makes you think about the nature of existence itself. And even the Guardians, those wise overseers of the Green Lanterns, they're not without their flaws. Sometimes their decisions come across as, well, a bit short-sighted.
They can be very bureaucratic, more concerned with order and the Corps' image than with the individual struggles of the Lanterns out in the field, creates some interesting tension in the narrative.
Definitely adds another layer of moral ambiguity. You've got these characters wrestling with their own beliefs, trying to figure out what's right in this vast, complex universe. And all of this is happening against the backdrop of some pretty incredible action sequences.
The CGI really shines there, depicting these massive cosmic battles in a way that traditional animation might have struggled with.
Yeah, the CGI was a big talking point when the show first came out. Yeah. Some people found it jarring compared to the traditional style.
It was a departure, for sure. Some viewers missed the warmth and expressiveness of hand-drawn animation. But the CGI allowed the creators to portray that vastness of space, those intricate alien landscapes, and the sheer scale of those battles in a way that traditional animation might not have been able to capture.
It definitely gave the series a unique look and feel, and ultimately it helped elevate the storytelling, allowed viewers to truly immerse themselves in this vibrant cosmic world. And let's be honest, those action sequences were pretty spectacular.
They were something to behold. The CGI really lets them go all out with those space battles. But they don't just focus on the spectacle, they also manage to capture those small character moments. Really good visual storytelling.
It's true. Going from these massive battles to a close-up, showing all those emotions, even with all the aliens and superpowers, it's those personal moments that really grab you.
Absolutely. And a lot of those moments are tied into how they explore the emotional spectrum. Green for willpower, red for rage, but then you've got blue for hope, star sapphires for love, orange for greed. It's like they're saying all these emotions are part of us. And finding balance, not just shutting them off, that's what's important. It's like a way to see those struggles we all have inside.
It really is. It's not about being purely good or evil, but understanding how all those feelings work together.
And that complexity carries over to the supporting characters, too. Like Atrocitus, the Red Lantern leader. Yeah, he's driven by rage, but also by loss, a sense of injustice. Then you've got Galia, a star sapphire. Her story shows how love can be powerful, but also how it can be used to manipulate.
I remember when I first saw those red lanterns, I thought they were just having a really bad day.
Yeah.
But their anger, it makes sense when you learn where it's coming from. And Galia, she makes you rethink that whole idea of love always being a good thing.
They're not just your typical bad guys. They've got their own reasons, their own struggles. It forces the heroes to really think about what's right and wrong. Makes you wonder, is following orders always the right thing to do? Especially when you think something else is right.
Right. The show keeps blurring the lines between good and evil. It's all about those gray areas, those tough choices. That's what keeps it interesting.
And they don't shy away from showing the flaws of the Guardians either. These are supposed to be the wise leaders, but sometimes they seem more interested in protecting their own power than helping others, almost like a big bureaucracy.
It's like they care more about rules and appearances than what's actually happening to the lanterns.
Exactly. And that conflict between duty and conscience, it comes up a lot. Hal trying to do what he thinks is right, even if it means going against the Guardians. It makes you think about who really gets to decide what's best, especially when you're talking about the fate of the universe.
And all this is happening alongside the groundbreaking CGI. I know it was different, but it let them show those massive space battles in a way we'd never seen before.
True, some people miss that classic hand-drawn style. But the CGI, it opened up a whole new world of possibilities.
And they used it so well. Those alien worlds, the scale of the battles, it was incredible.
It gave the show a unique look, and I think in the end it helped tell the story even better. Let the viewers really feel like they were part of this amazing universe. And those action scenes, they were pretty epic.
Definitely epic. Critics loved it. The story, the characters, how it tackled these mature themes really showed that superhero cartoons could be more than just action and jokes.
Yeah, it really pushed the boundaries, and you can see its influence on other DC shows that came after, like Young Justice. They brought in some of the characters and ideas from Green Lantern, proved that animation can tell these complex stories and still appeal to older audiences.
And for me, one of the things that really stood out was how they handled willpower. It's not just about being physically strong, it's about having conviction, sticking to your beliefs, choosing hope even when things are tough. And they show this visually with the rings needing to be recharged. It's like willpower is a resource that needs to be replenished.
Such a clever way to show that. It reminds us that even willpower has its limits. We all need to rest, recharge, find something bigger than ourselves to draw strength from. And that idea of connecting to something larger, it runs throughout the whole series. Like there's this source of strength that goes beyond just our own willpower.
Also, we're not alone in our struggles, that there's something out there supporting us.
Yeah, like a connection to something bigger, a higher power. Like we can find strength to overcome challenges by looking outside ourselves.
It's a powerful message, especially these days when everything feels so individualistic.
Absolutely. And that ties back into the emotional spectrum. The show emphasizes that all emotions are part of being human. Rage, hope, love, they're all there. And the key is finding balance, not trying to shut them off, understanding them and choosing actions that reflect who we want to be.
That really hits home, especially in a world that feels so divided and uncertain. The show reminds us that even in the darkest times, we have a choice. We can give in to the negativity, or we can choose to fight for hope, for connection, for something better.
It really makes you think about your own choices, your own actions. And that's the power of good storytelling. It stays with you, makes you question things, even after the show is over.
So, to wrap things up, Green Lantern, the animated series. It's more than just a superhero show. It's a visual masterpiece that makes you think about what it means to be human.
It's a story about willpower, finding balance, and never giving up hope. It's an invitation to explore those themes, to think about how your own emotions shape you and what being a hero really means in your own life.
If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's an amazing journey through space, filled with incredible characters, thrilling action, and some really profound insights. It might just change the way you look at the world, and maybe even yourself.